Okay, now we're going to look at a couple of social networks. So in this section, we're going to look at the social networks and we're just going to see a static page. So don't worry, I won't be able to click on anything. I'll just point out a few things. And then when we're done, we'll actually look at some of the real pages. Okay, so let's talk about Facebook, the big one. So Facebook, you post and view notes from friends. You could post pictures on Facebook. You could share links. You could send out group messages. You have to ask permission to be your friends. Oh, you get those notices, don't you? So-and-so, you'll either say, you might like this person, you might want to be friends with this person, or you might actually be saying this person wants to be your friend. Those are two different things. If somebody wants to be your friend, they've actually gone on and selected you and said, I want to be friends with you. If it just says somebody you might be interested in, they haven't said that. So keep that in mind. And if it's a long lost boyfriend or girlfriend or something, don't necessarily ask to be their friend unless they ask first. Okay, if you click like on something that they do, that puts them on your page. So then all of a sudden people are, that's for companies. So when you like something, if you have an ad for 7-Eleven and you like that ad, well, you're going to start seeing ads for 7-Eleven on your page. You can always change that if you want. Okay, and there's the link to Facebook. But this is a static picture of the Facebook account, and you can see that you can see a person that is posting, their picture is there, and then their name, how long ago they posted this. So in this case, it's a picture. You can search Facebook by name, by email, by phone number. Over here on the side are just some of the categories that they have. If you click more, you can see more. And so I told you everything, all the sites have something about COVID-19. This one does. Facebook is really trying hard to keep everything accurate. Messenger is the chance to talk with people privately, and you could also set up maybe a room with them as well. Live videos, those are actual live videos that you can actually see on Facebook. We'll look at those in a bit. Marketplace, you can sell things on Facebook. I don't know if you knew that or not, but you can do that. And then there are things you could watch on Facebook as well. So just some of the other options. And then up here, you've got the notification button and you've got what's known as a badge. If you ever see the word badge, that's what it means. So that means that there's one new notification since you looked last on that. So, and then these are the people that you follow. And so that's just a little bit about Facebook. We will see live Facebook in just a little bit. Okay, next there's Twitter. So like we said, 140 characters. I think that might now be 280, but I'm not sure. Originally, there were no pictures. And I have to say, I kind of liked it when there were no pictures because you could go to your Twitter feed and you could see boom, 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 all these different bits of information. And it would almost be like looking at a table of contents and saying, oh, let's see, yeah, I'd like to see that. And then there'd be a link to that. You could see more about that. Now they have pictures, and so it takes a little longer to get through a page because you have pictures taking up space. But nevertheless, that's how it is. You have followers. You don't need any permission to follow someone or to be followed. It just you just ask Twitter if you can, and you do. And then if you have followers, people that you are following, you can categorize them by topic. So you could say, I'm following this person because they're interested in technology. I'm following this person because they have a really interesting view in the news. I'm following this person because I think they're kind of funny. And then you could put all the people that would fit in that category in the same category. So then if you go to the funny category, you could see all the people that you're following that you've identified as being funny. Oh, I don't know, it's a nice way to organize it. Okay, and that's Twitter, and this is a Twitter feed. So again, you can see this is where you would post something. These are the different options that you have, the profile, messages. You could send a private message to someone on Twitter. Again, they're showing you the pictures. In this case, this is a link taking us somewhere. but you can actually see the description and then the link, so you know that this is an authentic post. It isn't just a picture that someone popped up. Down here we have a link down here, but at least it's a link that we understand the domain name. So it would be a safe link. You know that it's a Nike.com link. So, so there's a little bit on Twitter, and again, we'll look at more of those in a second. Let's go to the next one, LinkedIn. Okay, so LinkedIn again, I say to post and view resumes. I don't know that, I think that they've made it a little bit safer, but I don't know that I would actually put a resume on LinkedIn. But it is a good place to look for jobs. Once you have identified what your strengths and your skills are, you start getting notifications about job openings that are related to your strengths and skills. They also have groups, and so you can find people that have similar occupational goals and similar interests, and you could get with them to learn more about what you're interested in as far as your occupation. You can find contacts that are LinkedIn. So if you're trying to network a little bit, that's an idea. And then this is a little bit unique. You have to invite others to your network. And then they have this thing called your first or second or third. So first person is someone that you have invited and you know personally. A second level is someone that knows that person and you know that person, but you don't know each other. And then the third level is someone that knows that second person, but might not know the first person and wouldn't know you. So a little bit confusing, but there it is. And you can see that this person is a first person. So this is someone that I actually know, that I have exchanged, LinkedIn profiles with. You could post up here. Here's some of my groups. Here's some of the recent posts. I don't really use this very much, but nevertheless, it is kind of interesting. And, you get the different posts. They could post with an ad. So it's good for people looking for jobs or trying to be a little bit more involved in their occupation. And again, there's your badge with the 72. And so that means that there's 72 notifications that you haven't looked at since the last time you were on LinkedIn. Okay, Pinterest. So Pinterest has the bulletin boards, a bunch of boards, and you decide what they are, and you decide what you want on them. And then you could see other people's boards, and you say, oh, I like that thing on your board. I want it on my board. And you could pin what they have and put it on your board. You could also follow a person. So let's say a person is a really good gardener and you love everything they put up. You could follow that person. No permission required. And unlike some of the others, this is it isn't a real private one. This isn't one that you would put up really private things for the most part. This is, again, your interests, sharing your interests, sharing things that you find online, learning from others and getting things from others. It's a really nice community product. It's also a lot of advertising. A lot of advertisers use Pinterest to show their latest clothing designs or things like that, and they rely on people looking at that to make comments. This is an example of my boards that I have. So when I first go to Pinterest, you won't see your boards. You have to actually go to your boards. But then you can set up these different boards, okay? And then when you click on that board, you can see that it's very picture driven. So you would be online and you would see an interesting article and you would have the pin icon next to it. And when you click on that, it will bring you the picture and then it will provide a small link. So unlike Twitter, which theoretically is text with the slight information on pictures, Pinterest is the emphasis on on the images and a slight bit of text, like a link for something. They also use hashtags as well. Okay, and then there's Meetup. Now, of course, Meetup right now is not really going on because it's face-to-face. But Meetup is an excellent way to meet people in your area that have a common interest. And so things like politics and books and movies, pets, pet walking, group once that we walked down at Fiesta Island. I went to a tech meeting one time. Haven't done that much, but it is sort of nice to gather with others in a public place. You shouldn't do meetup if you don't know the people. It's probably not a good idea to go to somebody's private home just yet, but it usually takes place in a public place, and you just join with your zip code, tag what you're interested in, and then they send suggestions. And then if you want to join a meetup group, you have to join first. You can't be anonymous. And I believe you also have to have a picture. And that's to make sure that we're legitimate here. So there's a little bit of trust involved in Meetup, but it really is a nice opportunity to meet other people. And Meetup was actually founded after 2001. Well, it wasn't founded that early. It was founded years later. But after it happened, people were, they wanted to kind of get together and talk about it. And so Meetup became a way for them to say, okay, well, let's go to this coffee house and let's talk about what happened. And that's how the whole idea began, which I think is kind of cool. Okay, and this is what it looks like. So when you go on to Meetup, you can see what's going on, maybe with things that are, these are groups maybe that you're involved in. I don't know that I'm involved in this one or that one either. Maybe those are just local groups that are meeting on that day, and you could decide to go. Now I'm pretty sure that none of these are happening right now, but once everything clears up, you might want to consider Meetup. Okay, Nextdoor. I didn't know about Nextdoor until I was teaching this class one time, and someone said, oh, have you heard of Nextdoor? I said, no. And they said, well, Nextdoor is a place where you can talk to your neighbors. So it's a private social network, and you have to prove that you live in the neighborhood in order to be a member of Nextdoor. They don't use advertising on there. In fact, if you tried to advertise on there, you'll get kicked off the site. They have, it's really kind of quaint, because people are very adamant. The users are very adamant. So if you're posting things that aren't very nice, they'll let you know. They also have things like safety, services, lost pets, things for sale, or even events that involve the neighborhood. So those are all good reasons for using Nextdoor. Oftentimes we'll have, I'm sure you do too, helicopters flying overhead. And you're going, why is the helicopter flying? So someone will go on to Nextdoor and say, does anybody know where the helicopter's flying and what the heck are they saying? Because I can't understand them. And then someone else might pop up and say, oh, they're looking for somebody who's lost or whatever. So it's kind of a nice on-the-spot social network that keeps you up to date with everything that's going on in your neighborhood. But to join this, your address has to be verified. You have to use your real name, and it's protected. It's on an HTTPS site, which is protected, and you have to have a password. So it's pretty safe as far as that's concerned. And then, of course, your information is not shared with advertisers. So it's very much a simple and a clean social network. Okay, and this is what it looks like. So you can see that you have your home page with just the messages as they pop up. You can see your area. You can also see a map of all the homes in your area, and they don't identify who lives there, but they do tell you if that person is a member or not a member of Nextdoor. And so if you notice that your neighbor is not a member, you might sometimes say, well, you ought to join Nextdoor. It's just an option. In the neighborhood, businesses for sale or events or real estate or safety. So you might have something specific for your neighborhood. Say, for example, you have something, when we were getting ready to sell our house, we had some things that we wanted to get rid of, and they were actually free. And I just posted them on Nextdoor. Of course, there's other options for that as well, but they were able to, I was able to get rid of them that way. Lost and found, pets. I guess that might be, lost and found might be pets, but you get a lot of pet things. Now, if you post a pet thing, especially a missing cat, be prepared for a lot of people to kind of yell at you because you have your cat outdoors and your cat's not supposed to be outdoors. So there's a lot of personal messaging going on there on things you should or shouldn't be doing. the masks in downtown La Mesa have been a big thing. People that aren't using masks and people that are, and there becomes this big back and forth on Nextdoor. I get, of all of my social networks, I get the most notifications from Nextdoor, but I guess that's because I haven't disabled notifications. I allow that in my email just because I like to kind of know what's going on in the neighborhood. And I might have to sift through a lot of things that aren't interesting in order to find that thing that is interesting or important for me. So I really think this is a very helpful one to use as well. Okay, Instagram, that is pictures. So just you take a nice picture. They have filters on Instagram, so you can filter it and make it even a little prettier and a little bit more, like maybe you want to have a surreal approach, or maybe you want to have a really direct popping approach. You can do all that with those filters. There's also something called moments. And so in moments, you could see people's lives. What they're doing is they're going through the day and they're capturing different pictures from the day. Those are moments. And again, like the stories, those are just on for a while and then they disappear. But it's a good chance to sort of see what's going on with others. And when you post something to Instagram, you do have a chance to cross-post that. So that's why sometimes if you belong to Facebook and not Instagram, you'll see a picture with maybe a couple of lines of something and a lot of hashtags. It probably started in Instagram and was cross-posted with Facebook. So this is what Instagram looks like. Instagram is best viewed on a phone. This one is from my computer. This one is from my phone. And you also do more of your posting on your phone and not on your computer. So you can view your friends on your computer, but if you want to post a picture of what's going on, you do that with your computer. And by the way, or by your phone. And by the way, this is Pompous Albert. And if you want to follow Goofy Cat, you can follow him. He's just always looks kind of mad. I get a kick out of him, so I follow him just to see what's going on. Every picture looks the same. He's always got that bad look on his face and his fur is all matted. All right. Did we do Pinterest already? I think we did. Didn't we do it? I think we did. Okay, so wait. And then I told you that we talk about some other social networks. This is on your handout. So WhatsApp, I think we talked about last week. That's a social network for communicating. There's online dating sites. I can't tell you if they're any good or not, but there are a couple of them are specifically for seniors. So if you're interested in that, you might consider that. I talked about the patient support one, like Patients Like Me. That's if you have an illness and you'd like to speak with others that have the same illness. Or Caring Bridge. This is the one that you would go to if your loved one was diagnosed with something and they're life-threatening and you wanted to provide updates, but you don't want to send out an email every day. You can use Caring Bridge for that. Online review sites. As much as you might think that Yelp is sometimes a little bit skewed, and sometimes some of the responses people give are not necessarily accurate, it's still nice to have some sort of opinions out there. So it's better than nothing as far as review sites, and there's other ones as well. There's photo sharing sites. I think we talked about this in our photo class. Flickr is one of those. And so you can post your pictures on Flickr and show them to others. If you're a photographer, you can also provide information about how to purchase a high quality version of that picture, how to download that picture and use it on the website, or how to get in touch with you for more information. And then I always forget to include this. This is a social network, YouTube is. It is a social network because it does involve all of those things like sharing and liking and posting and all that other things and commenting. So it is a social network and maybe one of the favorites.